want to run as administrator, and then go to the root directory and MongoDB, or wherever your MongoDB installation is. I believe it's bin, yep, and then Mongo. Okay, so let's see, let's say show DBs, and we want to use com events. Alright. Actually, no, I'm sorry, we're using MongoLab, so I'm going to escape out of this and go into MongoLab and grab the connection. Okay, I got to log in again. Okay, so I need to grab this. And then I'm going to paste that in here. Okay, and then you just want to change your credentials. Alright, so now we're in the database, and to make sure we have the right one, DB, you can see we're in com events. Alright, let's see. Now let's say show collections, and these are all the collections. So we want to create a new one. So we're going to say db.create collection, and the collection we want to create is events. Alright, so now you can see we have an events collection, and if we go even in the MongoLab interface, let's reload this page, and now you can see we have an events collection. Alright, so let's go ahead and add an event through this interface. Alright, so to add, we want to say db.events .insert. Okay, and then basically we want to say name, and we'll just call this event 1. Okay, that's the name, and then we'll have a description. Just say this is the description. Alright, what else? Let's take a look at the schema file so we make sure we get everything. And ID will be automatically generated. So name, description, and then date. Okay, so date. For this, we should just be able to say new date. And that should give us the current date. Oh wait, we don't want the current date. So we'll say new date, and then we'll pass in, we'll say, I don't know, July, we'll say July 4th, 2015. Alright, and then the next field that we want is a venue. So we'll just say venue 1. Alright, next, we'll do start time. And we'll set that to 2 o'clock p.m. Okay, that's a string. And then end time will be 5 o'clock p.m. And let me see what else. I think we got everything. Oh, username. So let's see, username. We'll say Brad. Alright, so let's enter that, and looks good. So let's do db.events.find.pretty. And there it is. Okay, everything looks good. You can see the ID, it's just a generated object ID. Okay, so that's what we want. Now what we're going to do is I'm basically going to copy one of the back to index.js files. Let's go to admin users, because users basically doing the same thing. We're finding them and displaying them in the browser. So let's take the index.js and open that, and you can see that they also have a find method. Alright, so I'm going to copy that. Yeah, I'm just going to copy the entire thing and then just replace it here. Alright, because we're essentially doing the same thing. So we have request.query.username, and we're setting that to whatever the username is. But you know, the users they're using this as the main field. Alright, username. We don't want that. In our events, we want name to be the main field. Alright, so we're going to get rid of the user and just have name. Alright, and then we're going to say for a limit, we're going to default it to 20, which is fine. You don't need to have limits and sorts and things like that, but you know, it's better if you just leave it. So we'll just leave that. We'll leave the page and the sort. By default, it's going to be sorted by ID. And then we have a filter here, or our filters array, which we're basically taking the username and matching it against a regular expression. Alright, just to make sure that there's no special characters or anything like that. And since we have a username, we're just going to leave that for now. And then let's see, if is active, we don't need that. Let's get that out. And then the roles stuff, we don't need that. And then here we want the event model, so we're going to replace this user with event, and we're calling the page find plugin, which is basically what's going to get the event details from the database. Alright, so we're passing in filters, which is set to our filters object, which is right here. Keys is what basically the fields that we want to get and display. So we want name, username, and description. Alright, limit is set to the limit that's up here. Same thing with page and sort. We can leave those. And then we're going to do our callback with an error and a result. If there's an error, we're going to return next. And then here we're saying if there's an XHR request, then we're going to set the headers to just cache control. And that's not really something we need to really get into. Just make sure you have it. Let's see, we're going to send the results, and else we're going to just render the page. But we don't want this page. We want this to just be events index. Alright, now this is where we're going to send the data to this view, to the events index. But it's right now we're getting JSON and then we're turning it into a string. Alright, and I don't want to do that. I want to send the actual data as the object. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get rid of this right here, and what we're going to send is results dot data. Alright, and that's coming from the result up here. Okay, so basically everything that we're searching for. Alright, and then we should be able to access the results in this view. Alright, so save that, and then we're going to create, actually I think we already did, yeah. So views, events, index.jade. Alright, now for this we need to use Jade code, obviously. Now I'm just going to paste this in. Okay, it's not much. Basically, we're extending the default layout. We're setting the head with a title, which is just view events, and then the body, we're going to have a div, which is going to be a row, and then we'll have an 8-column div, which will have an H1, and then it'll have a UL with the class of events, and then we're going to loop through the events. We're going to say each event I in data. Okay, now this data right here, that is coming from right here. Okay, so we're doing the query up here, we're passing the data to the view, and then we can access it in this view. Okay, so we're going to scroll through, and we're going to use event as a variable. So we'll have a list item for each event, and we'll be displaying the event name right here in some strong tags. We're going to say posted by event.username. Okay, so whoever created it, it'll say, and then we'll have a paragraph with the description. All right, and then we'll have a link that goes to events/show/ and then the event ID, and that'll take us to the event details page. All right, and then we just have a 4-column div with a sidebar. Okay, so we'll save that and make sure everything is saved. Okay, and we'll give this a shot. We may get some errors, but let's cross our fingers. So we want to restart the web server. Okay, no errors there, which is good. Let's go ahead and go to the home page. Works. Go to events. Okay, something went wrong. Cannot read property page find of undefined. Alright, so that should be here, and that's right here. So request.app.dbmodels.event.pagefind. And I think I know what is going on. We didn't include the model. So we need to go, I think, to app.js. Oh no, see, we're requiring the models folder, so we need to go there. Oh, models.js down here. Yep, we didn't add our events, so I'm going to copy this, and we just want to change this to event. Alright, so that should give us the model. So we'll try that again. There we go. Event 1, posted by Brad. This is the description. The read more goes to events show and then the ID. Alright, so that's working perfectly. Awesome. And real quick, I just want to get rid of that bullet. So let's see. I want to create a global CSS file for us to use. I don't want to use any of the pre-made ones. So I want to go to public, layouts, and I'm going to create a new text document called style.css. Alright, and open that up, and we need to make sure that we include it. So we're going to go to layouts, default.jade, and I'm going to copy this, and we're going to link to layouts/style.css. Save. Alright, and now in styles we want to say .events li and set list style to none. We're going to set margin to 20 on the top and bottom, and we're going to set the line height to 1.9 em. Okay, and reload, and there we go. So that's the front end layout of events. What we're going to do next is create a details page, so we can click the read more button, and then after that we'll get into managing events from the front end.